Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 7 just ended, and we're going to go over a recap talking about everything that happened on DraftKings and FanDuel and my Best Buys column. We're going to look at all of it. We're going to see where I was right, where I was wrong. We're going to see where I got lucky, where I got unlucky. We're going to see where the process was good or if the process was bad. We talked about on the Anti-Tinker Cast yesterday. That's the show that I'm on live before lock, the 45 minutes leading up to kickoff on twitch.tv. There's a link down below if you guys wanted to go check out the live show. I'm live 6 days a week. We talked about a couple of things. One, how I was not playing cash games because I felt that there was a very direct lineup for cash that most people would be going to, and there was maybe a secondary lineup that was a 2v2, maybe a 3v3 away from that lineup that most of the traffic was going to be on. At best, you were probably going to be playing 2v2s or 3v3s against everybody, and I don't like doing that. I don't want to flip coins for one position or two positions on my lineup, and let's say, okay, you pick this guy and I pick that guy, and we're going to flip coins for a whole bunch of money on one player's performance versus your one player's performance. I don't think that there's very much of an edge in that. That's not the way that I like to play the game, so I avoided playing head-to-heads in week 7, and as it kind of turned out, there was one very particular cash game lineup, and if you were on it, you basically won 100% of your cash games, and if you didn't, you probably, and you won a lot of your cash games, you probably also tied a bunch of them. The cash line was extremely high because it was a when chalks attack sort of week, where the guys that everybody was playing, those players that were 60 to 85% in head-to-heads and double-ups and everything, all kind of went off, and it pushed the cash line up in both those and in tournaments. So a very high-scoring week, a very fun week. So we're going to take a look at how everything went. Thank you guys for being here. Let's shoot for 10% likes on this video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for coming over here to the second channel every single week to watch these recap videos. I do appreciate it. And let's get to how I did on week 7. So here's my article. This is Best Buys. It's up every single week on ESPN Plus. Every single Thursday morning. This comes out during football season. You have to be a subscriber to ESPN Plus. It's like the only thing that I do that's behind a paywall, and it's not my choice. So if you live in Canada or the UK, obviously you can't get it. I'm sorry. I don't run things at Disney. That's just the way that they operate. But here it is. So let's go over it. Kyler Murray. 34 of 48, 363 touchdowns and 1 on the ground, 67 yards rushing, 41.1 points. Smash. Justin Herbert, 27 of 43, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9 of 66 on the ground and a rushing touchdown, 41.48 DraftKings points. Smash. Deshaun Watson, 29 of 39 for 309 yards. Got you the bonus. 2 touchdowns, 7 of 38 on the ground. 27.2 DraftKings points for 7K. I'm sorry, but that's a smash too. He almost 4x'd his salary. That's a smash play. The other ones were like absurd. The other guys went nuclear. Andy Dalton sucked. I'll take an L there, sure. He sucked and he got injured, so double suck. If you want me to take an L on Andy Dalton for including him on a week where I thought they might score points against Washington because everybody else has scored points against Washington, I'm fine taking an L there, whatever. But we're done with Dalton for a while, and we might be done with the Cowboys for a while as they go with an Italian restaurant at quarterback moving forward. So it's probably not going to be, it's going to be slim pickings for that offense and that offensive line with a third string quarterback and no efficiency and no time and everything else. So I'll take an L there. If you want me to take an L there, it's fine. Whatever. I don't care. Joe Burrow, though, 35 of 47, 406 yards, 3 touchdowns. We talked about this all week last week, that you can't throw for this many attempts and you can't throw for this many yards and not have touchdowns. He was extremely touchdown unlucky on the season. 3 touchdowns this week, and he added a rushing touchdown, 36.64 DraftKings points. Smash. So that's 3 smash plays, 4 smash plays at quarterback. And 1 dud. I'll take it. Alvin Kamara, we spent a lot of time in Discord, in the subs channel. If you want access to the subs channels on Discord, you have to subscribe on Twitch. There's no way for me to turn on the join button on YouTube and add that as a thing to coincide with Discord. So if you want to sub to Twitch, I've avoided putting the join button on YouTube because I just don't. If you guys want to support the channel, come over to Twitch, subscribe there. You can sub for free if you have Amazon Prime using your Twitch Prime sub or Prime Gaming sub, whatever they call it this week. And then you can link Discord to your Twitch account, and then you have access to the subs only channel. We spent a lot of time on Saturday talking about Alvin Kamara and was he a viable play for tournaments, and I thought that he was going to be 40 or 50% played. And I said, look, he's a smash play in cash games because he's the most likely player on the slate to get 25 points. But that doesn't mean he should be a plug and play. And I was underweight on him in tournaments, and it kind of helped me out this week being underweight. And by underweight, I had like 30% of him. I maxed him at 30% because the optimizers wanted 45, 50%. And I was like, no, I don't need that much, because the opportunities for him to get 35 or 45 points and run away from the entire field and be a must play were not as likely based on the volume that he gets and how touchdown dependent his scoring actually is to have a smash game. So, you know, he's not likely to get a 100-yard bonus. He's not likely to double bonus in any game that he plays. So he did great for 7,900 in cash. He got you 22.8 DraftKings points, 8 targets, 8 catches, 65 yards, 14 rushes, 83 yards. That's a very Alvin Kamara game. He did not get into the end zone. So again, the more nuanced discussion happens in Discord. Head on over there if you want to be a part of the community that we've built over the last 3 years. Kareem Hunt. I don't have his stats in front of me. He got bailed out by a late touchdown, which was nice. He did fine. Didn't kill you. 6,800 on DraftKings, 71 on FanDuel. He was fine. Justin Jackson, as the injuries mounted up on the week, there were a couple of other value plays that came out after this article got published. Obviously, you guys should have been on Gio Bernard, as we talked about on the Friday show. And then as Aaron Jones was out, the other if-then statement was, well, if Aaron Jones is out, we're going to slam Jamal Williams into our lineups. And both of them had over 20 DraftKings points, rendering Justin Jackson as kind of a unneeded play in cash games. And then with the injuries to him that were being reported throughout the week, we kind of probably should have gotten off him as well. I mostly did. I pivoted a little bit to other places. He didn't kill you. He had 10.5 DraftKings points, which was way better than a lot of other plays in that price range, but like you weren't on him anymore once those other two values came out. 5 rushes, 12 yards, 5 catches on 6 targets is encouraging for 43 yards. That offense went nuts. The running backs did not. Todd Gurley did what he does apparently against really bad rushing defenses. He scores touchdowns, although he was very inefficient in doing so. We got lucky that he tried to big brain us and stay out of the end zone late in that game and couldn't quite do it as the ball was in his left hand. If it was in his right hand, he would not have scored that touchdown. So that's great that he actually fell in there. 23 carries, so we wanted that. 63 yards only, but 2 touchdowns. Was involved in the passing game. 3 targets, caught 2 of them for 19 yards, and he led the league in terms of running back carries inside the 5-yard line. Everything we want from a 5-box running back. I'll take the smash there at 22 points. Jerick McKinnon would have loved to know that he was going to rest this week. What is the point of having injury designations if you don't put anything on Jerick McKinnon, but you put like a questionable on Jeff Wilson, and Jeff Wilson runs 17 times for 3 touchdowns and Jerick McKinnon doesn't? So like by the end of the week, again, he was not necessary because of the other value plays. So give me an L here if you want. I'll take it. I don't care because we weren't playing him. I had like 0% of him in my lineups this weekend because I would have had a bunch. But because of the extra 2 value plays that opened up, there was no need for Jerick McKinnon by the weekend. So it is what it is. DeAndre Hopkins, 28.3 DraftKings points, 10 targets, 10 catches on 12 targets, got you the 100-yard bonus and a touchdown on a nice play. That little fake where they all look to the right, that was kind of cool. Smash. Sorry. DK Metcalf did not smash, but I was altering my play as the week went on. I apologize that I don't get to edit this column. So DK Metcalf, give me an L here. 5 targets, 2 catches, 23 yards, 4.3 DraftKings points. And unfortunately, he could have ended that game, although he would not have ended it if it was not a hold. So it was, that hold brought back a sick touchdown that would have ended that game. But it is what it is. We talked about on the Anti-Tinkercast, and this is how my play evolved through the week, was that, you know, DK Metcalf every week for me, guys. And then as I took a much deeper dive into Arizona, by the end of the week, I was like, you know what? They give up a ton to slot guys, and DK never plays in the slot, and Tyler Lockett plays a ton in the slot. So I was kind of pivoting to Tyler Lockett, and we talked about that on the Anti-Tinkercast a lot. Somebody said, do you like Metcalf or Lockett? I said, it's always a coin flip, but I really feel that this is a Lockett week based on those things. So I'll take the L here, but eventually we did get it right, and hopefully you guys tuned in on Sunday morning before kickoff to hear that. The people who did really paid off. If only we got points for chase downs on interception returns, that would have been great. We don't get that though. Keenan Allen was an absolute smash. Did not score a touchdown, but apparently you don't need to if you're just going to get 13 targets and catch 10 of them every single game. And as long as Herbert is going to be the quarterback, he's just going to get completely peppered with targets. Herbert's actually good, guys. The two rookies, Herbert and Burrow, actually very good. 125 yards, got you the bonus, 25.5 points smash. Terry McLaurin, the most obvious smash of the week, did and could have been even better if he had gotten 10 more yards against the Fantasy Carnival. 7 catches on 11 targets, 90 yards, caught that long touchdown, 22 points, smash. Christian Kirk, 5 catches on 8 targets, 2 touchdowns, only 37 yards, which is a little bit weird, 20.7 points, smash. Travis Kelce, snow. So tight ends were an absolute mess this week. So like you can see I removed 2 tight ends because Hooper and Ferkser were in this, and like Ferkser was an if-then statement, so I took him out. And then obviously Hooper was injured, so I took him out. Travis Kelce in the snow, I pivoted off of him later in the week. I kind of went to more punt type plays, whether it was O'Shaughnessy, whether it was Bryant on Cleveland was the one of the 2 tight ends there with Njoku. And Njoku had 10 points and didn't disappoint because of that touchdown. I pivoted to more, I didn't have Njoku, I just had Bryant in my tournament lineup. So those lineups did well, but I didn't have that much. I had like 5%. So Travis Kelce, 3 catches, 3 targets, 31 yards, 6.1 DraftKings points, which is not what we're looking for. Travis Kelce had -1 air yards this week. How does that happen? Anyway, Hunter Henry, and I know that chat's going to want me to take an L here, and I ain't taking an L. And here's why. Hunter Henry ran 31 routes on 59 snaps, including 64.6% of his routes per Herbert dropbacks on the week. He got targeted 7 times, including 1 end zone target. Herbert threw for 347 and 3 TDs, including 2 touchdowns to all of the tight ends on this team. Hunter Henry ends the day with 5.3 DraftKings points. Y'all want me to take an L here? You could suck it. I'm definitely not taking an L on Hunter Henry. This was a good process play that just didn't work out for us. Sometimes you get unlucky, and you have to understand that and just be okay with the fact that you're not going to be right all the time, even though your process is right. Process was 100% correct here. The team went off. They scored a ton of points. He got the amount of targets that we need from him, including an end zone target. It just didn't work out. Sometimes it ain't going to work out. Not taking an L. Don't care how many times you spam that emote in chat. Buffalo Bills had 14 points. Chargers had like 6. That was a little disappointing. Cleveland Browns had 7. Let's take a look at how we did this week in the Millionaire Maker. As I said, I did not play cash. I only focused on the 150 max tournaments. Came in 166 in the Millionaire Maker, so close, but not all the way there. Kenyon Drake, there was always one spot in all my DK lineups that was holding me back this week. A little bit disappointing. Whether it was Kenyon Drake, I was massively overweight on DK on Mike Davis, as I thought everybody was going to be on Kamara, and they were, and not play the same 2 running backs from the same game. So I pivoted to the other side, trying to leverage the field in that way, and it didn't work as Mike Davis didn't have anywhere near enough points, and that sunk a lot of my lineups. I also had a lot of Traquan Smith on DraftKings instead of Deontay Johnson because I was a little less sure about Deontay Johnson. That was a big mistake in terms of my tournament allocations there. That was clearly a mistake, so I'll take an L there, but that's my own personal L, so it is what it is. That held down a lot of my lineups, but as you can see, my highest scoring lineup, Joe Burrow, with a Tyler Boyd stack. We had Devontae Adams with David Johnson as a secondary stack. We brought this back with Bryant on Cleveland here. And then I had Lockett and Hopkins, so a third stack from the late game there. Had the Chargers defense in this one, 251 points. Cashed a lot of the lineups in the Millionaire Maker. Still didn't profit on the week, but I'm not really concerned with profiting in large field 150 max tournaments. I'm not trying to get 10% back, guys. I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, look, I'm profiting 15% on the Millionaire Maker. No, I'm not trying to come in and make $3,500 or $3,600 on my $3,000 investment. I'm trying to win all of the money, and I want to take the right shots at getting the right opportunities. Usually 250 is what you aim for to try and win a tournament. I got close. I had it somewhat surrounded. We had a bunch of lineups over 200. So I'll take kind of the performance. I'm happy with the way that I did. I wish that I had made different decisions on Traquan versus Deontay Johnson. And then I'm still okay with my leverage play on Mike Davis going up against Kamara, as I was limiting Kamara, and I said, well, I want to fill up somewhere where they aren't. So it just didn't work out for me. That I thought I was on a lot of the right stuff this week, and I hope that you guys were too, based on how much Best Buys did well. Here's the cage match. You see UNC played here because he had to be a stand-in, as Andy is in Arizona and can't log in, or he can log in and make a lineup, but he can't enter any contest, including free head-to-head games on DraftKings. So one of our mods over on Twitch stood in for the lineup that we drafted on the cage match. I won this week, so I'm off the schneid, 3-4 on the year after a 4-game losing streak. Kelsey did not do well. Literally everybody else did for me. He got, did not do well for him. Still not allowed to say his name. Now you guys know why he's redacted. He pivoted to Julio Jones off of Aaron Jones. Apparently he thought that you could only pivot to somebody who had the same last name. But he still did all right with that. The Saints defense didn't really do anything. Kamara only had 22 points as the chalk. Kenyon Drake kind of failed. Stafford, 21 points, kind of bailed himself out at the end with that last second drive and touchdown to TJ Hawkinson. And then looking over at FanDuel, same sort of situation. I was really close. This is the $44 bomb that I entered 150 times. This is the same tournament that in week 2 I almost won 100K in. Got another top 10 finish here with this lineup: Kyler Murray, Gio, Kamara, had Robbie Anderson. I mean, obviously, do I wish that this was DJ Moore? Of course. It didn't work out, is what it is. So here's your primary stack: was Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins, brought it back with Lockett, had Alvin Kamara and Robbie Anderson paired here, went with Gio Bernard and Harrison Bryant as more correlation. And I had a lot of James Robinson this week because he was my most preferred Jaguar, especially once we found out that, the backup had COVID and he was going to be on the field basically all of the time. And I felt that he was going to be way underplayed versus what he should be. And he had an absolute bonkers week. We were high on Washington's defense this week. I had 25% of them. The field had 17. I was also very high on the Kansas City Chiefs defense. It all came down to, did you have Lockett and did you have Adams? I think if you were going to win a tournament this week, that's just kind of what it came down to. As you can see here, the winner had Kyler Murray, went with Larry Fitzgerald, Lockett, Devontae Adams. Like these two here, if you had them in the same lineup, basically unlocked everything for you. And it just another good week in GPPs. I'm fine with the process. It will lead to, good results if you just stick with it every single week and do good things. Don't worry about taking a small loss. Plus or minus 15% on any week in GPPs is fine as far as I'm concerned. Focus on doing things the right way, and 1 week you will hit everything that you need to hit and hopefully take down a GPP, as I know that a lot of people in this community have been doing so far this season. So I wish you the best of luck. Look out for another video right here.
He's a legend.